This year's group of NHL rookies appears to be incredibly strong. In today's video, I'm going to tell you who I think are the top 10 rookies who are going to have the most impact on their NHL clubs this season. And at the end of the video, I'll give you my Calder Trophy prediction, and that's coming up next. Welcome back here to Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, today we're talking about the top NHL rookies to look out for the coming 2019-2020 NHL season. And it's a video you're going to want to watch all the way through, because at the end I'm going to tell you which of these rookies I feel is most likely going to win the Calder Trophy, and I'll give you my prediction on who that's going to be. Now, just a quick note as well, there's all kinds of great young NHL talent that are going to be making their NHL debuts this coming season. This is really, it was a tough list to compile. There's a lot of guys I left out that I still think are going to have decent years. And of course, some of these players that I'm mentioning as well in this list might not even start the year at the NHL level. It is possible some of these guys could end up in the minors to start the season, but then come up later and really have major impacts later on throughout the year. But there is a really strong group of NHL players that are poised to make their debuts this year and have some major impacts on their NHL clubs. First up, we have Cody Glass of the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, Cody Glass was their first ever draft pick a couple of years ago. He's really grown a lot through the last couple of years playing junior hockey in the Western Hockey League. Had a great opportunity to play for Team Canada last year at the World Junior Championships. Had a really solid showing. I think Cody Glass has really turned into a really solid two-way player, and I think he's going to finally get a chance to play with the Vegas Golden Knights for the coming year. He may not have a huge role at the beginning, but longer term, I see him being a terrific young player for Vegas. I think he's going to force their hand to give him more playing time and likely bump some guys out of their current spots. I can see him maybe playing as high as third line to start the year, but I can over time here in the next couple of years, I can certainly see him moving his way up the lineup. But Cody Glass is certainly a player to keep your eyes on in the Western Conference for the Vegas Golden Knights. Next up, across the desert, we have another young NHL rookie who's going to likely have a pretty solid debut, and that's BARRETT HAYTON of the Arizona Coyotes, who was a surprise high draft pick in the 2018 NHL draft by the Arizona Coyotes. Now, it wasn't a huge surprise that HAYTON was selected in the first round, but it was a surprise in just how high the Arizona Coyotes selected him. I mean, he was expected to go probably 5 to 10 picks lower than what he did, but either way, the Coyotes and John Chayka were absolutely in love with this player and could not resist the opportunity to draft him. Now, he went on to have a pretty solid year in junior. Again, like Cody Glass, represented Canada at the World Juniors, had a pretty decent tournament. I think BARRETT HAYTON has the potential to be a real offensive dynamo. He's a great skater. He's really quick. And I can see the Arizona Coyotes giving him an opportunity for the coming year to really make his mark and really have an impact on that franchise. I know last year at the end of training camp, he made it all the way to the end and did play an NHL game before going back to junior. And this year, that stay is going to be a little bit longer, and he's certainly going to have much more impact than he did last year. He may not be as strong of a rookie as some of the other guys we're going to talk about here on today's list, but BARRETT HAYTON is certainly a player to keep your eyes on. He's going to have a solid year for the Coyotes. Next up is the first of many defensemen to make this list, and that's Evan Bouchard of the Edmonton Oilers. Personally, I think Evan Bouchard has accomplished everything he can at the junior level, and he is ready to jump into the NHL. He's really worked hard on his skating over the last couple of years. Even though his skating may not be his strongest attribute, I do feel he's ready for the grind of the NHL. He certainly has the potential to be a power play quarterback, and he's a very offensively gifted defenseman. He's a great playmaker. He's an incredibly good passer. And I think the Edmonton Oilers are going to be infused with some youth on that blue line this year to really help move this team forward. Another guy like Ethan Bear and Bouchard are likely going to be transforming the blue line in Edmonton a little bit and having a pretty significant impact overall on that side of the game. I fully suspect Evan Bouchard to get a lot of attention this year and really be a big help to the Edmonton Oilers. Next up, we have another 2018 first-round selection, another top defenseman for the New York Islanders, Noah Dobson. Now, I can see Dobson playing top 4 minutes right away. He's really a really solid two-way defenseman. He's not going to be as flashy as some of the other players on this list, but Noah Dobson is going to be incredibly effective for the New York Islanders. He's going to be able to play in a lot of situations, and even though he's still quite young, will need to learn to get better at the defensive side of the game at the NHL level. It's going to be a big jump for him from playing junior. As a defender, he's had a really strong junior career. He's a back-to-back Memorial Cup champion, closing out his junior time. So really, this guy is ready for the prime time and is going to be a tremendous asset to the New York Islanders. I don't think he'll get as much attention as some of the other guys on this list. I don't expect him to put up a ton of points right away. Over time, I can see him being a top pair D for the New York Islanders. Next up, we have Vitaly Kravtsov of the New York Rangers. Now, of course, Kravtsov is another player who's a little bit of a surprise pick by the Rangers at the 2018 NHL Draft. Another guy, and it wasn't surprising that he went in the first round, but the Rangers kind of did go off the board. Many places had him ranked a little bit lower, but really ever since he's been drafted, he's really progressed even further and has become a really solid offensive player, and is going to be a major impact player for the Rangers longer term. Now, of course, the Rangers have been going through a bit of a rebuild, but they've really accelerated things by signing guys like Artemi Panarin over this current offseason. And of course, they're adding some really strong young players like Kravtsov and others who are going to have a major impact on this team. So I think the fact he's going to be given a chance to play a scoring role and really play with some strong players, I fully suspect Vitaly Kravtsov to have an incredibly strong rookie campaign here for the Rangers. Next up, we have Drake Batherson of the Ottawa Senators. Now, Drake Batherson was a little bit of a late bloomer. He didn't get into major junior hockey at the youngest age as possible. It took him a little longer to get there. He was drafted a little bit later than usual as well. Either way, the late bloomer is putting himself together to be a solid NHL player. Last year as a rookie, he dominated the American Hockey League and made the most of his limited opportunity to play for the Senators as well. I fully suspect Batherson to not only make the Senators roster at a training camp, but to play a top 6 role on a fairly regular basis and have a really significant season for Ottawa. Because of the state of that team and that franchise, a lot of younger players like Batherson, Tkachuk, and White are going to be given significant opportunity. But Drake Batherson has the size, the skill, and the smarts to make the most of that opportunity. I do see him being probably a 20-25 goal scorer in his rookie campaign here and going to be a big part of the Senators' future. Next up, we have Quinn Hughes of the Vancouver Canucks. Now, Quinn Hughes is going to get a major opportunity in Vancouver. He likely will get some power play time. And if you take a look at the other young players that he's surrounded by, especially in the forward group, where he's going to be joining the rush and playing with these guys like Pettersson and Besser and Horvat and others up there, he's bound to have a lot of success. He's an awesome skater. His skating is by far his strongest attribute. And he's going to be a major part of really revitalizing that Vancouver Canuck blue line, and is going to be having himself quite a rookie campaign. Now, of course, like a lot of these other rookie defenders, I do expect a big adjustment period for Quinn Hughes, but I think he's fully ready to handle the situation and really put his skills on display. And as I've mentioned in other videos, I think a lot of the rookie defensemen this year are really going to be taking some of the spotlight away from some of the top young forwards. There's a lot of them around the league here that we've discussed so far, and there's more as well that are going to be getting a lot of attention in the NHL this year, and Quinn Hughes is going to be one of the top guys in that regard. Now, next up, we have Cale Makar, another top defender for the Colorado Avalanche, who stepped in late last year into the NHL playoffs for the Avalanche after signing his pro contract after leaving U.S. college hockey, and really stepped in right away and had a tremendous impact. He did not look out of place at all. He was partnered with Samuel Girard on the power play and then later in 5-on-5, and it really did not look out of place at all. He was an incredibly dominant player for the Avalanche during their playoff run last year, and I think he's going to take that an even step further for the coming season. I think that experience at the end of last year is going to be a major asset to help Cale Makar get the adjustment phase of his game and really be prepared to start the year strong for the Avalanche. I think that blue line for Colorado is going to be one of the strongest in the next couple of years. He's not the only young defender. Of course, you got Connor Timmins, Bowen Byram, who was just drafted as well. They've got a ton of strong young talent coming on that Avalanche blue line, and he is going to be the best of the group, though, in my opinion. I think Cale Makar could very well be a future Norris Trophy winner, but for this year, he's going to have a major impact and be in the running for the Calder Trophy. Next up, we have Kakko of the New York Rangers, the number 2 overall selection by the New York Rangers of the 2019 NHL Draft. I fully suspect Kakko to have a big role for the New York Rangers and not take a whole lot of time to get adjusted to playing in the NHL and in North America. I had Kakko pegged as the most NHL-ready player in the 2019 NHL Draft, and that really should not come as a big surprise. He's got great size, great skill, really mature player for his age, and is really ready to jump in and have a major impact here on the New York Rangers. I do see Kakko having a solid rookie year and being in contention for the Calder Trophy as well. And of course, last but certainly not least, one of the top players to watch this year is going to be the first overall selection at the 2019 NHL Draft, and that's New Jersey Devils forward Jack Hughes, who's going to likely have another solid rookie season. I do think Hughes might take a little bit more time adjusting to the NHL than a player like Kakko, but so far in the preseason, he's looked really solid, and I do expect him to have an outstanding rookie season for the New Jersey Devils. He's a very dynamic player and is one of the best skaters around as well, like his brother Quinn. Quinn. They're terrific skaters, and that skating abilities really, along with his quick hands and vision, allows him to be a tremendous top talent NHL hockey player. He's going to be doing great things for the Devils for many years to come, and I expect him to have a solid rookie year, and once again, like the other guys I mentioned here, be in contention for the Calder Trophy. Now, as I mentioned as well, I'm going to give you my prediction for who's going to win the Calder Trophy and be the top rookie for the 2019-2020 NHL season. I do think you're going to see guys like Hughes and Kakko and Makar likely be your finalists. I think they're going to stick out the most amongst all the guys we talked about today. And like I said, there's a really strong group of players. But I see Cale Makar stealing the show from Hughes and Kakko and taking home the Calder Trophy. I think what he's going to do in Colorado is going to be that much more impressive, considering that he's a defenseman and he really outshined these two top forwards. Longer term, I think all three of them are going to have solid careers and be major impact players for their team. But for right now, I'm picking Cale Makar to be the 1920 Rookie of the Year. So, of course, as always, I want to know who you think are going to be the top rookies for the coming season, and who would you predict to win this year's Calder Trophy. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and turning on your notifications so you don't miss any future content, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it as well. I'd appreciate it if you did. As always, thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.